Hey YouTube, this is Aracian bringing you a deck profile. This is my take on Hopeless Disaster / Chaos Dragons. Alright, so I'm gonna go through the deck first, and then I'm gonna explain why using the cards I am. Alright, first I got 3 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, 1 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, 2 Light Pulsar Dragon, 2 Vice Dragon, 2 Dark Flare Dragon, 2 Divine Dragon Apocryph, 2 Eclipse Wyvern, 3 The White Stone of Legend, 2 Red Eyes Wyvern, and 3 Mass Dragon. For spells, we got 1 Future Fusion, 1 Dragon's Mirror, 2 MST, 1 Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy Storm, 3 Trade-in, 2 One Day of Peace, and 3 Royal Decree. For the extra, we got 2 Five-Headed Dragon, 1 Digusto Emerald, 1 Lavavol Chain, 2 Utopia, 1 Roach, 1 Leviair, 1 Leviathan, 1 Iron Chain, 1 Trish, Orient Dragon, 2 Black Rose, and 1 Brionac. Alright, so there are a lot of high-level dragons in here, but despite that, they all hit the field pretty quick if you set it up right. In most cases, you can do this on your first turn. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, the backbone of the deck. One of the main ways your high-level dragons hit the field, and one of the main ways you maintain field presence. Galaxy Eyes just for those pesky XCs like Utopia and Zenmaines, if that's the right one. That one with 2100 defense points, I forget. I get them all mixed up, but whatever. You got Red Eyes and Light Pulsar form like sort of a mini loop. Light Pulsar as the sub boss. When Light Pulsar goes to graveyard, is sent to the graveyard, it special summons Red Eyes from your graveyard. Then Red Eyes special summons Light Pulsar, and they like go back and forth. Light Pulsar also, there are 2 specific effects that it has, special summoning effects. If you special summon it from your hand, you banish 1 light and 1 dark monster from your graveyard. If you special summon it from the graveyard by its own effect, you send, or is it send or discard? Yeah, by sending a light and dark monster from your hand to the graveyard. So, even though they're just level 6 and level 5, Dark Flare and Light Pulsar both can set up by their own effects. Dark Flare, I was skeptical about it first, but when I realized how good it was and how much it sets up, it was important that I had to. Its effect, you can special summon it from your hand by banishing a light and dark from your grave. And once per turn, you can send 1 dragon type monster both from your hand and your deck to the graveyard, and then banish a card in either player's graveyard. Sets up so much stuff. This is great to get rid of those Hornets, Glow Up Bulb, Spore, Dandelion. Get rid of Formula Synchron. Get rid of JD if it hit the grave before they got a chance to summon it. Yeah, get rid of Random Light Sworn so they can't summon JD. Yeah, it's really awesome. And on top of that, you can send Light Pulsar to graveyard. You can send White Stone to graveyard, then banish something, search out your Blue Eyes, and basically that just nullified you having to discard a dragon. So yeah, that works. Also, the thing about this deck, Light Pulsar and Eclipse Wyvern, you gotta be careful when using their effects because they're if statements. Well, Eclipse is an if statement, which means it can miss the timing, and Light Pulsar isn't mandatory, so it can also miss the timing even though it's a when statement. So it doesn't work like Sangan or Dandelion, which means if you tribute it to summon something, it'll miss the timing. If you sync with it, it misses the timing. The only time it doesn't miss the timing is during the damage step, so it can activate by ramming it into an opponent's monster. I find it funny to ram Light Pulsar into Catastor and then special summon Red Eyes Darkness, and then main phase 2 SS Light Pulsar again. I find that hysterical. Vice Dragon is just there to set up Red MD or Light Pulsar or Dark Flare. It's a Dark Dragon, so you can banish it. Also, if your opponent controls a monster, you don't control anything, special summon it, but its attack and defense are halved. Special summon it, banish it for Red Eyes, or special summon it, tribute it for Dark Flare or Light Pulsar. If you tribute it for Dark Flare, play its effect, send Dragon to the graveyard. And if you have Light Pulsar in your hand, basically you can, since Vice Dragon is already in your graveyard, basically you can send White Stone from your deck to your graveyard, and I don't know, let's just say Red Eyes. You can send that from your hand to the graveyard, White Stone from deck to graveyard, banish something, and then search out Blue Eyes, and then basically you can banish the White Stone and the Vice Dragon, special summon your Light Pulsar, and if Light Pulsar goes, then you get the Red Eyes that you just discarded. So it works like that. Divine Dragon Apocalypse, it's like a mini Genesis Dragon. Discard any card and target a dragon monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. This works great with trade-in, play trade-in, discard your Blue Eyes or your Galaxy Eyes, draw 2, then discard something, and then get that Blue Eyes or Galaxy Eyes back. So it's a pretty nice card. Eclipse Wyvern, a combo with your Light Pulsar and your Dark Flare. But if you send Eclipse Wyvern by Dark Flare's effect, then Eclipse misses the timing because Dark Flare has to banish something first, and Eclipse would miss the timing because of that. But sending it to the graveyard by it being attacked or by Future Fusion, you get to banish your Red Eyes or your Galaxy Eyes. And then if you banish it by Light Pulsar or Dark Flare, then you get whatever you just banished back. So it's a pretty good, trade out. Future Fusion works great in this deck. But before I get to that, Red Eyes, just for Darkness Metal, just for support, and Mass Dragon for White Stone and Divine Dragon Apocalypse. That's just about it. Okay, back to Future Fusion. Future Fusion is amazing in this deck. It's actually a little broken, even more broken than in Machines or Heroes, if you ask me. Basically, if you have a Future Fusion and you have like a trade-in in your hand, Future Fusion, trade-in, and Dark Flare Dragon in your hand, basically you can basically go through about 12 cards in your deck and have a field with 3 to 4 boss monsters by the end of your turn. And I'll explain real quick how that works. Future Fusion sends 2 White Stone, 1 Eclipse, Red Eyes, and a Light Pulsar to graveyard. White Stone and Eclipse then activate. White Stone searches out 2 Blue Eyes. Eclipse banishes a Red Eyes. So with that, just Future Fusion alone, basically that's 5 dragons plus 3. So basically you just milled 8 cards from your deck. So that's like a plus. And then if you have trade-in, you discard one of the Blue Eyes and draw 2. And basically that's 10 cards you just took. And then Light Pulsar's effect, discard like a Dark Dragon. Let's say you discard Vice Dragon and the second Blue Eyes, summon that, and then banish one of the Blue Eyes and Vice Dragon for Dark Flare. Play Dark Flare's effect. Send your third White Stone to graveyard and discard a random dragon, whatever it is. Discard that. Oh, and don't forget you get to add that Eclipse or whatever you just banished for Dark Flare, whatever. And there's so much to the combo. I don't really know how to go through it until I actually do it myself. But I actually made a vid. I believe I went against Inzektor's where I did this combo. But aside from that, basically you can go through about 12 cards through your deck by the time your turn ends, and basically your field will look something like Red Eyes, Light Pulsar, Blue Eyes, maybe Dark Flare, or a face down Mass Dragon, Future Fusion, and if you're lucky, Royal Decree. That's I've done that about 4 or 5 times where I had a field set up like that, and basically it's almost like you just won the duel just by doing that. Not as broken as windups though, so no complaint. 2 MST for back row hate, mainly for Necro Valley, because Necro wrecks this deck so hard. It's just like, oh jeez. Reborn for that Red Eyes or Galaxy Eyes, or insert random dragon here. Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Staple. Trade-in, that your main draw engine. Just trade-in has 4 targets: Blue Eyes, Galaxy Eyes. But normally in a duel you only really see like 2 of them, so doesn't really hurt you by having 3. 1 Day of Peace, it contradicts the deck a little bit, but if you attack first and then play it, basically you have assurance. Even if your opponent nukes your field, they still won't be able to touch you, so you can have an extra turn to try and come back. And 3 Royal Decree, because, well, that's the only trap in here, so makes sense to have 3 of these. Now, a thing about the deck, there are no defensive spell or trap cards in here at all, so if you lose your field presence, it's hard to come back. But all the spells and traps are geared towards having that boss feel. So if you can pull it off, then you're in a good position to win in a few turns. Okay, the extra deck, well, 2 5-headed dragon for obvious reasons. Emerald for that epic Blue Eyes special summon, or just a mini Pot of Avarice. Lava Vol, just to search through the deck if I really need it, or to send something from a graveyard like Light Pulsar or Red Eyes and set up. 2 Utopia. Well, everybody uses Utopia, so 2 Roach. I'm pretty sure everybody uses this card too. Levier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody uses that one too. Are you guys starting to see a pattern here? Okay. Iron Chain, just because it's a dragon and I needed something that was a level 6. Trish. Everybody uses Trish. Orion. Take down Trish. Black Rose. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Bryanak. Also self-explanatory. Side deck, those are just cards I was testing, ignore those. Deck works out pretty well. I mean, if your hand isn't clogged by high level dragons, or if your combo works out, which it usually does like 2 out of 3 times, then yeah, it works. But post comments and down below about what you think about the deck. Subscribe, comment. Alright, that's just about it. Alright, thanks. See ya.